Welcome to Kirklees Library's Green Library project, The Secret Garden. The Green Library project funding came at a fortuitous time for the library service. We've been wanting to develop the garden area behind Golka Library for some time, however plans were delayed because of the pandemic. We saw this as an opportunity to work with the community on environmental and green issues, with a focus to engage the 3 local junior and infant schools. Our aim of working with the schools was to create a piece of art with a theme of natural gardens. This would enhance the current area, which was less than appealing. The sessions for the schools explored the garden habitat, looking at how us as individuals affect our environment. For the future, we are planning further engagement with the schools, children who participated in the project and their families. We will look at identifying an area for the schools can develop as their own. We also plan to create a community edible garden and develop regular events in the library to develop community environmental consciousness.
So the Golka Green Libraries project was the start of a project that was hopefully going to bring more people into the library. So we thought if we decorated the garden with some artwork that the children had produced, it would encourage them to bring their family and friends in, and other community groups would see that the space was starting to be used in a positive way and would encourage them to take part in gardening projects as well. So we worked with schools that we already had links with, but we wanted to build on those links further. We also worked with a group called the Children's Art School, who led the art side of the project. So the first element was to get all the children into the library for a visit, so they got to see the library, they got to see the garden and see where the artwork would ultimately go. Now each school had a different element to do, so one of the schools did the underground level, so we had badgers and moles and worms and bugs and things like that. The next school had the ground level, so we had flowers and grasses. And the final school did the sky, so we had clouds and birds and insects for that one. So in the library, they worked with the art school, they learned a little bit about each of the artists and their processes, and they started to trace the drawings, which was something a lot of them had never done before, so it introduced a new skill. The next 2 visits took place in the school. So they're actually working directly on the boards. They took the tracings they'd done and they projected them onto the boards, and then all the pictures ended up on the boards and the project was starting to come together. The final day was spent again in the school. This time the pictures were being painted. So the Children's Art School taught them about the colour wheel, and they learnt about things like complementary colours to really make the colours pop out. One key element that the library provided all the way through this was to run the Arts Award, which is a nationally accredited certificate that everybody can get. We worked at the Discover level. We also used our library books and our library literature to learn about artists. There was elements of research that they had to do. They had to do art techniques, and ultimately they could show the finished mural in the Golka Library. And then they had to talk about what they'd done and review it as well. So we did all those elements, and we were able to go into school and present the children with an arts award. The final part of the project was to get the children into the library so they could see the work in situ and they could join up and start taking books out, and then hopefully that'll transform them into readers for life and they'll start coming back again with their families. So Sally's going to tell you a little bit more about how she's seen the children coming into the library and using it as a result of the project. So why did you want to be involved in the Green Libraries project?
Well, I'm a CSO that works at 6 different libraries, and I saw it as a chance to get out into the community and actually to just shadow a librarian and see what they actually do. And it was really good to work with the 3 local schools within the area of the library, you know, because I forged links with them now. I know them, a lot of them by their first names, and if they come in the library, they see me and they can come in, have a chat, and just get more involved within the library.
Yeah, I think that's the importance of having someone there, because myself and the Children's Art School they're hardly ever there because they don't work for libraries, and I'm there sometimes.
Yeah, and I was that link, yeah.
I think that's important. And the Arts Award, I know you had quite an interest in that, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, and it was something I'd never done before, and I think the children got a lot from it. I mean, it was quite intense, but it was interesting, and I've discussed it with my manager, and it's something that I'm going to train to become a facilitator in the future.
Fantastic.
Thank you very much for watching.
If you'd like any information, please get in touch.
And thank you from the
Kirklees Library team.